Welcome to our channel. Today we will try to solve 6.2 and 6.3. Okay. So before that we learn the basic concepts about parallel lines and transversal and all other terms. Okay. So first of all, parallel lines and a transversal. Recall that a line which intersects two or more lines at distinct points is called a transversal. Okay, so if I draw the line, suppose one line is M here, another line is N here. So this line is M line, this is N line. Okay, so line L intersects the line M and N at point P and Q respectively. It will be like that way. So if the line is L, so it cuts line M at P point, this is the point P, and this is the point Q. Okay, so therefore line L is a transversal for line M and N. Okay, now observe that four angles are formed at each of the points P and Q. Okay, now let us give the name to all the angles here. So this is angle 1, this is angle 2, this is angle 3, this is angle 4. Okay, and here this is angle 5, this is angle 6, this is angle 7, and this is angle 8. Okay, got it? So now here angle 1, angle 2, angle 7, and angle 8, that means this angle 1, this angle 2, this angle 7, and this angle 8 are called exterior angles. Okay, while angle 3, that means this angle 4, that means this angle 5, this angle, and angle 6 are called interior angles. Okay, got it? So now recall that in the earlier classes you have named some pairs of angles formed when a transversal intersects two lines. These are as follows. If I draw the figure again, M line here, L line here, and then A line here. Okay, and this angle is 1, this angle is 2, this angle is 3, this angle is 4, this point is P. Okay, and this angle is 5, 6, angle 6, angle 7, and angle 8. Okay, and this point we know this is Q point. Okay, so now if I recall the corresponding angles, so here angle 1 and angle 5, that means this angle 5, this angle, and angle 1, this angle are known as the corresponding angle, and also angle 2, angle 6 here corresponding angle, angle 4 and 8, that means this angle and this angle is corresponding angle, and also angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding angles. Okay, got it? So now next we will be talking about alternate interior angles. Again I am drawing this figure. So this is line M, this is line N, this is line L. Okay, this is 1, this is 2, 3, and this is 4. This is 5, sorry, this is angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, and this is angle 8. Okay, so now if I talk about alternate interior angle, so here angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles. Here it is angle 4 and angle 6. Okay, and if and here angle 3 and angle 5 are the second alternate interior angles. Okay, now we will be talking about alternate exterior angles. So for exterior angles we will have angle 1 and angle 7. These two angles here are known as the alternate exterior angles, and angle 2, angle 8 also the alternate exterior angle here. Okay, now at last if I am talking about interior angles on the same side of the transversal, then the angles will be angle 4 and angle 5 here. So these angles, okay, so these angles are known as the interior angles on the same side of the transversal, and also angle 3 and angle 6 are known as the interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Okay, so interior angles on the same side of the transversal are also referred to as consecutive interior angles or allied angles or co-interior angles. Okay, got it? So we can give the name to interior angles on the same side of the transversal as consecutive, consecutive consecutive interior angles, interior angles, or we can name it as allied, ALLIED, allied angles, or simply you can say that co-interior angles, that is co-interior angles. Okay, correct? Now let us find the relationship between the angles in this pair when line M is parallel to N. So in previous figure we looked at M and N, line M and line N was not parallel, but if I take line M is parallel to line N, then the figure will be like that way. This is line M, this is line M, parallel lines are, and if I take line L, it cuts angle 1, angle 2, angle 3 and angle 4 at P point, and angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, angle 8 at Q points. Okay, got it? Okay, so in this figure, if we measure any pair of corresponding angles and try to find out the relationship between them, we may find that angle 1, this angle, is equal to this angle, angle 2 equal to angle 6, angle 4 equal to angle 8 and angle 3 equal to angle 7. Okay, so from this we may conclude the next axiom. Okay, so go to the axiom 6.3. So here it is axiom 6.3, that is, if a transversal intersects two parallel lines, then each pair of corresponding angles is equal. Okay, so axiom 6.3 is also referred to as the corresponding angles axiom. Now, at first, let us discuss the converse of the axiom, which as follows. That is, if a transversal intersects two lines such that a pair of corresponding angles is equal, then the two lines are parallel. Okay, so it is the converse of this axiom 6.3. So to prove it, draw a line AD and mark points B and C on it. Here it is. Okay, here it is. A line is AD and we are making the points as B and C in the middle of AD line. Okay, here at B and C, that is this point, construct angle ABQ. That means we are drawing a line along these directions. From B we are drawing line BQ, and here at point C we are making the line CS as these directions. Okay, got it? So now angle ABQ, angle BCS equal to each other. Okay, equal to each other. So angle ABQ and angle BCS is equal to each other as shown in figure number 6.201, that is this figure. Okay, now look at this figure, that is figure number 2. Here we are producing QB and SC line on the other side of AD to form two lines, that is PQ and the second line is RS. Okay, PQ and RS. We are extending the line on the other side. Now you may observe that the two lines do not intersect each other. You may also draw common perpendiculars to the two lines, that is PQ and RS, at different points and measure their lengths. Now you will find it the same everywhere. So you may conclude that the lines are parallel. Therefore, the converse of corresponding angles axiom is also true. So we have the next axiom. Okay, so the next axiom is 6.4, that is, if a transversal intersects two lines such that a pair of corresponding angles is equal, then the two lines are parallel to each other. Okay, so here is the figure number 6.21. Now can we use corresponding angles axiom to find out the relationship between the alternate interior angles when a transversal intersects two parallel lines? So look at the figure number 6.21. Here transversal PS intersects parallel lines AB and CD at point Q and R respectively. Now the question is angle BQR, that is this angle, and angle QRC, that means this angle, and AQR this angle, and QRD these angles are equal. Okay, so now we know that in this figure angle PQA is equal to angle QRC according to the corresponding angles axiom. Okay, so PQA, that means this angle, is equal to QRC, that means this angle. Okay, got it? Now PQA, if I write PQA equal to angle BQR, that means we are trying to say that, is it true angle PQA is equal to angle BQR? Now look at the figure. PQA means this angle, and BQR means this angle, obviously. So we can say that PQA equal to BQR. Okay, so from these two equation, the equation 1 is angle PQA equal to angle QRC, and angle PQA equal to BQR, it is the equation 2. So from these two equations we can write that angle BQR is equal to angle QRC, that means BQR, this angle, is equal to QRC, these angles. Okay, similarly you can find out that angle AQR equal to angle QRD. Okay, got it? So that means we can find that AQR, these angles, is equal to QRD, these angles, that is alternate interior angles. Okay, now go to the next theorem. Now the next theorem is, if a transversal intersects two parallel lines, then each pair of alternate interior angles is equal. Okay, so here is the figure. Okay, AB and CD are the lines, parallel lines, and transversal PS cuts those lines at Q point and R point here. Now using the converse of the corresponding angles axiom, can you show the two lines parallel if a pair of alternate interior angles is equal? So look at the figure number 6.22. The transversal PS intersects the lines here AB and CD at points Q and R, Q point and R point respectively, such that angle BQR is equal to angle QRC. That means BQR, this angle, is equal to QRC, these two angles. Okay, now the question is AB parallel to CD? Now angle BQR is equal to angle PQA. Okay, BQR, that means this angle is equal to PQA. Okay, because we know these are the opposite angles. Okay, opposite angles, but angle BQR is angle QRC. Okay, got it? Because it is given in the question. So from this equation and the equation, BQR equal to PQA we can write that angle PQA equal to angle QRC. Okay, got it? You can write it properly. Angle PQA is equal to angle QRC. That means this angle is equal to this angle. Okay, but they are corresponding angles. Okay, so we can say that AB parallel to CD, that is converse of corresponding angles axiom. Okay, go to the next theorem. So now we will be looking at theorem 6.3, 6.4 and 6.5. Theorem 6 states that if a transversal intersects two lines such that a pair of alternate interior angles is equal, then two lines are parallel. Already we have stated in the previous example. Theorem 6.4 is if a transversal intersects two parallel lines, then each pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal is supplementary. Okay, and number theorem 6.5 is if a transversal intersects two lines such that a pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal is supplementary, then the two lines are parallel. Okay, these are the theorem 6.3, 6.4 and 6.5. Now we will be on parallel lines and same line. So here 6.3 theorem says that if a transversal intersects two lines such that a pair of alternate interior angles is equal. Okay, already we have talked about interior angles, yes, in the first example. So if I talk about alternate interior angles, that means this angle and this angle and this angle is equal to this angle. Okay, so if a pair of alternate interior angles is equal, then we can say that these two lines here, say P line and Q line, are parallel. Okay, so we can say that two lines are in parallel if a pair of alternate interior angles is equal. Okay, now theorem 6.4 says that if a transversal intersects two parallel lines, then each pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal is supplementary. Okay, so here supplementary means we know if the sum of two angles is 180 degree, then we can say that the angles are in supplementary. So we talked about theorem 6.4 and 6.3. Now theorem 6.5. If a transversal intersects two lines such that a pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal is supplementary, then two lines are parallels. So that means suppose these are the two lines. So this is the transversal line, transversal. So if this transversal L intersects these two lines such that a pair of interior angles, we know what are called as the interior angle, okay, on the same side of the transversal. So interior angles on the same side of the transversal means here it is angle 4, angle 5 here, and this angle equal to this angle here. Okay, on the same side. So it says that if this L transversal intersect these two lines such that a pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal is supplementary, That means if angle 4, angle 5, that means this angle and this angle is equal to 180 degree, that means the sum of these two angles is 180 degree, then we can say that the two lines, here it is angle, line P and line Q are in parallel. Okay, got it? Okay, so go to the next part. So now it is lines parallel to the same line. If two lines are parallel to the same line, will they be parallel to each other? Let us check it. Now see the figure number 6.23, in which we can say that line M is parallel to line L and line N parallel to line L. Okay. Now let us draw a line T here. So already we took the line, sorry, that is L, M, N. Now we are taking a line T as transversal for the lines L, M and N. Now it is given that line M parallel to line L and line N is parallel to line L. So therefore you can say that angle 1 is equal to angle 2 and angle 1 is equal to angle 3 according to the corresponding angles theorem. Okay, so we can say that angle 2 equal to angle 3. Yes, because angle 2 and angle 3 are the corresponding angles and they are equal. So therefore you can say that line M is parallel to line N, that is converse of corresponding angles axiom. Okay, go to the next theorem. Now the next theorem is lines which are parallel to the same line are parallel to each other. Okay, got it? So to know about this theorem, let us solve some example related to the parallel lines. Okay, so look at this figure number 6.24. Here PQ parallel to RS, that means this line is parallel to this line. Okay, angle MXQ equal to 135, that means this angle is 135 degree, and angle MYR, that means this angle is 40 degree. So we have to find out the angle XMY, that means XMY, that means this angle we have to find out. Okay, so to find out this, the value of this angle, we need to draw a line AB parallel to PQ. Okay, through point M. Now as like this. Okay, so suppose this line is AB line. Okay, and it cuts here at point M. Okay, so now from this figure you can say that AB parallel to PQ and PQ parallel to RS. Okay, PQ line is parallel to AB and PQ is parallel to, already you know, RS. Okay, so we can say that AB parallel to RS. Okay, now angle X, sorry, now angle QXM and angle XMB equal to 180 degree. QXM that means this angle, and angle XMB, that means XMB, that means this angle is equal to 180 degree. Okay, why? Because we know AB parallel to PQ. So interior angles on the same side of the transversal XM are QXM and XMB. So the total will be 180 degree. Okay, because we know the interior angles on the same side, the sum of the interior angles on the same side will be 180. So here we can say that QXM and XMB equal to 180 degree. Okay, but here QXM equal to 135 degree. Okay, so we can write that angle QXM plus angle XMB equal to 180 degree. Okay, now according to the question, angle QXM equal to 135 degree. Okay, so equal to 180 degree. So angle XMB equal to 180 degree minus 135 degree. Okay, so that gives us 45 degree. Okay, so that means we are getting XMB equal to 45 degree here. Okay, XMB equal to 45 degree, that means XMB, this angle is 45 degree. Okay, now angle BMY is angle MYR. Okay, as AB parallel to RS. Okay, so these are the alternate angles. So therefore you can say that angle BMY equal to 40 degree. Okay, this angle is 40 degree. So adding equation number 1 and equation number 2, so we got two equations from this figure. Number one equation is XMB equal to 45 degree and angle BMY equal to 40 degree. Okay, so angle XMY equal to will be 85 degree. Why? Because 45 adding with 40 degree will gives us 85 degree. Okay, because XM here XMY, that means this angle is equal to XMB, this angle, and BMY, this angle. Okay, so ultimately you got that XMY equal to 85 degree. Okay, got it? So what we have done, at first we have extend this, at first we make a line here AB. Okay, then we have to find out the value of this angle. Okay, so if we got this angle, then we need to find out this total angle. So this angle is 45 and this angle is 40, so we got 85 degree for XMY, this angle. Okay, got it? Now go to the next example. The question here is, if a transversal intersects two lines such that the bisectors of a pair of corresponding angles are parallel, then prove that the two lines are parallel. So for this solution, to solve this problem, we have to look for the figure number 6.26. Here a transversal AD intersects two lines PQ and RS at points B and C respectively. Okay. Now ray B is the bisector of angle ABQ here. Okay. BE is the bisector of the angle ABQ. Okay. As it bisects this angle into two parts. One is ABE, another one is EBQ. Okay. And also ray CG is the bisector of angle BCS, that means these angles, because this line CG bisects this angle into two parts. One is BCG and GCS. Okay. And now we are having BE parallel to CG. BE parallel to CG here. So we have to prove that PQ parallel to RS. Okay. Now it is given that the ray BE is the bisector of angle ABQ. So therefore you can write that angle ABE equal to half of angle ABQ. Okay, we can write it. Similarly, we can write it that angle BCG equal to half angle BCS. Okay, but we know BE parallel to CG and AD is transversal here. So therefore, you can say that angle ABE, that means this angle ABE is equal to angle BCG, that means this angle, according to the corresponding angles axiom. Okay. So if we substitute the value of BCG and ABE in this equation, so we got that angle ABE equal to angle BCG. Okay, so if we put the value of angle ABE, that is half angle ABQ, and angle BCG is equal to half angle BCS, then we got angle ABQ is equal to angle BCS. Okay, got it? Okay, but they are the corresponding angles formed by transversal AD with PQ and RS, and they are equal. So therefore you can write that PQ parallel to RS, that is from converse of corresponding angles axiom. Okay, go to the next example. Now the next example is in figure number 6.27, AB parallel to CD and CD parallel to EF already given, and also EA perpendicular to AB. Now if BEF equal to 55 degree, this is 55 degree, find the values of X, Y and Z. That means we have to find the value of X, Y and Z here. Okay, now we know interior angles on the same side of the transversal will give us 180 degree, So from here we can say that angle y plus 55 degree equal to 180 degree. Okay, got it? That means this angle and this angle gives us 180 degree. So here we get y equal to 180 degree minus 55 degree, that is 125 degree. Okay, so you got that y equal to 125 degree, y equal to 125 degree. Okay, now again x is equal to y, that means angle x, this angle equal to this angle, because AB parallel to CD here, and we know corresponding angles axiom. So from corresponding angle axiom we can write that x is equal to 125 as y equal to 125 here, because from corresponding angles axiom we can write these two angles equal to 125. Now since AB parallel to CD and CD parallel to EF, therefore we can write that now AB parallel to CD and CD parallel to EF, therefore you can write that AB parallel to EF. Okay, so if I write AB parallel to EF, that means you can say that this line AB line is parallel to CD line, okay, and CD line parallel to EF line. So you can write that AB line is parallel to EF line. Okay, so we can write here angle EAB plus angle FEA equal to 180 degree, because these angles are the interior angles on the same side of the transversal EA. Okay, so now we can write that angle EAB, that is 90 degree plus Z. So here angle EAB plus plus FEA equal to 180 degree. Okay, so here angle EAB is 90 degree. We can write it from the sign here. The sign is 90 degree. So angle EAB plus angle FEA equal to 180 degree. Then you can write angle EAV equal to 90 degree and angle FEA equal to Z plus 55 degree. This angle in total will be Z plus 55 degree is equal to 180 degree. Okay, so we can find from here that Z equal to 180 degree minus 90 minus 55 degree. So obviously we get Z equal to 35 degree. Okay, so here the value of y is 125 degree, x is 125 degree and z is 35 degree. Got it? Okay, go to the next slide. Now we will be learning about the angle sum property of a triangle. Okay, so we are starting theorem 6.7. The theorem 6.7 is the sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Okay, so prove it, we need three figure number 3.6.34, 6.35 and 6.36. okay, now prove it. Let us see that what is given in the statement above, that is the hypothesis and what we need to prove. we are given a triangle PQR here. Okay, and angle 1, angle 2 and angle 3 are the angles of this triangle PQR. Okay, these three angles. Now we have to prove that all these angles in addition makes the angle 180 degree. That means we have to prove that angle 1, angle 2 and angle 3 equal to 180 degree. Okay, so to prove it, let us draw a line XPY parallel to QR through the opposite vertex P as shown in figure 6.35. Okay, here it is. Okay, so that we can use the property related to the parallel lines. Now here in this figure, XPY is a line. XPY is a line. So therefore we can say that angle 4, angle 1 and angle 5 is equal to 180 degree. Okay, angle 4, angle 1 and angle 5 is equal to 180 degree. But here XPY parallel to QR and PQR PR and PQPR are transversal here. So we can say that angle 4 is equal to angle 2 and angle 5 is equal to angle 3 here. Okay, because these are the pairs of alternate angles. So substituting angle 4 and angle 5 in one equation, the equation was angle 4 plus angle 1 plus angle 5 is equal to 180 degree. Okay, so we are substituting the value of angle 4 and angle 5. So angle 4 means angle 2 here also, so we can write angle 2, and angle 1 we are keeping, and here angle 5 is equal to angle 3, so we are writing angle 3 here. So basically got that angle 2 plus angle 1 plus angle 3 equal to 180 degree. Got it? So we can write it angle 1, angle 2 and angle 3 equal to 180 degree. So you can say that the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Okay, here in this figure, look at this figure, figure number 6.36. Here we are extending QR line to S. So here the exterior angle is angle 4. Okay, you can see that angle 1, angle 2 and angle 3 equal to 180 degree. Already proved that in a triangle all the interior angles gives us 180 degree. So from these two we can say that angle 4, that is exterior angle, is equal to angle 1 plus angle 2. So that means the exterior angles of a triangle is equal to the opposite interior angles. Okay, got it? So here you can say that angle 4 equal to angle 1 plus angle 2. So you can say that this angle is equal to the sum of this angle and this angle. That okay, that okay. Go to the theorem 6.8. Now theorem 6.8 says that if a side of a triangle is produced, then the exterior angle so formed is equal to the sum of the two interior opposite angles. Already we have discussed using the figure number 6.36. Okay, now we are having the example 7. Now look at the figure very carefully. 6.37 figure. Here it is, if QT perpendicular PQ and angle TQR is 40 degree and angle SPR equal to 30 degree, find X and Y. We have to find out this angle and this angle. Okay, so in triangle TQR, here it is the triangle TQ and R, this triangle, we can say that 90 degree, that means angle T plus angle Q plus angle X is equal to 180 degree in this triangle QTR. Okay, so from the figure you can say that, and from the statement you can say that T is 90 degree, Q is 40 degree, here it is 40 degree, and angle X is remain as angle X equal to 180 degree. So from here you can say that angle X is equal to 180 degree minus 130 degree. So we got the value X is equal to 50 degree. Okay, so we are getting X is equal to 50 degree here. So if X is equal to 50 so X is equal to 50 degree, then we can say that Y equal to angle SPR plus angle X. Okay, because so SPR is this angle. Already we have learned that for a triangle the exterior angle is equal to the opposite interior angles. So from that we can say that angle Y equal to angle SPR, that means 30 degree, and angle PRS, that is X. So we can say that angle Y equal to angle SPR, that is 30 degree, and angle X, that is 50 degree. So we got Y equal to 80 degree. Okay, so the value of X is 50 and value of Y is 80 degree. Okay, now example 8. Look at the figure 6.38. The sides AB and AC of ABC are produced to points E and D respectively. If bisectors BO and CO of angle CBE and BCD respectively meet at point O, then prove that angle BOC equal to 90 degree minus half of angle BAC. Okay, now ray BO is the bisector of angle CBE. Okay, CBE, this angle, the bisector of OB, that means this line is the bisector of this angle. Okay, so we can write that from that point angle CBO equal to half angle CBE. So that is equal to half angle CBE is equal to 180 degree minus Y. Okay, because in total half of 180 minus Y. Okay, because CBE, that is CBE, this angle is equal to 180, this is total 180 degree, so we can write it 180 minus Y, then we get CBE, this angle. Okay, so we can write that CBE, that means CBE equal to 180 degree minus Y degree. Okay, so we got that angle CBO equal to 90 degree minus Y by 2, that is equation 1. Okay, similarly CO ray is bisector of BCD, angle BCD, so you can write that angle VCO is half of angle BCD. Okay, from here it is also, so you can write that it is half of 180 degree and minus z, here it is z. Okay, this is total 180, this is angle z. So angle BCD, means, that means this angle will be equal to 180 minus z. Okay, okay, so if we find out this angle, so we have to subtract this angle from this z angle. Okay, so we got here from that angle BCO equal to half of 180 degree minus z degree, that is 90 minus z by 2. Okay, got it? Now in triangle BOC, that means this triangle BOC, angle BOC plus angle BCO plus angle CBO equal to 180 degree. Okay, this angle and this angle is equal to 180 degree. So if I substitute the value of BCO and CBO in this equation, we get angle BOC plus 90 degree minus z by 2 plus 90 degree minus y by 2 equal to 180 degree. So from here we can say that angle BOC equal to half of y plus z. Okay, but we know x plus y plus z, angle sum property of the triangle, is equal to 180 degree. So we can say that y plus z, if x plus y plus z equal to 180 degree, then you can say that y plus z equal to 180 degree minus x. So here we can, if we write here the value of x, the value of y plus z, we can write that angle BOC equal to half of 180 degree minus x. Okay, so ultimately we can write 90 degree minus x by 2, and also we know the value of x. Okay, so we can write here it is equal to 90 degree minus half of angle BAC. Okay, got it? Okay, so thank you very much.